Hello everyone, what's up? It's me again, Junkmaster 3. And yes, it's time for the top 5 of the month for the month of February. So these are basically the best movies that I watched for the first time during the month of February. And like usual, I'm gonna go it through like from the weakest one to the best one. But all of these are really, really great films in general. So yeah, let's start right away. So the first one, number 5, we have a an action film from the 80s called Cage from 1989, which has Lou Ferrigno and Reb Brown in it. And when you look at this film, it really feels like a almost like a typical sort of like a David A. Pryor type film because it's about these Vietnam veterans that are returning home. And Lou Ferrigno's character, he's like really like damaged by what all of his everything that he's seen in the war. So he sort of like had become sort of like a child, like in the mind, if you get what I mean. He sort of like gets like really like he doesn't really understand like consequences and stuff. And of course there's like this like these mafia guys or like whatever. I mean, they're basically like evil businessmen, and they like basically shove like people into like a um, death match type deal, like in like a fighting ring, you can say, illegal one of that. So of course they just decide to recruit Lou Ferrigno without him really knowing what he's really supposed to do, because he constantly say, "I don't want to fight." But just because he's been damaged by what he's seen and he doesn't really know what to think about all this, he gets lured into this. So then it's basically up to Red Brown's character to free him and try to talk some sense into him and try to like rescue him from these evil like businessmen, basically. So they, because they only want to benefit from him like by earning money from his like fightings and fighting matches, if you get what I mean. So yeah, I mean, this is a really entertaining film. It's rather hard to come across, I believe. I've actually watched it on YouTube because that was the only way I could find this. I know there is like DVD releases of this one out there, but they're just near impossible to get hold of, at least these days. So yeah, would love to see that get like a re-release or something, maybe like a Blu-ray release. Who knows? But yeah, Cage, highly entertaining and really, I mean, surprisingly serious type of film, because it's really about friendship in the end, and you don't really see that very much in some of these films. So especially not in the Red Brown films in general. So I thought that was really nice, like um, spin on the whole thing, if you get what I mean. So yeah, and then at number 4 we have a South Korean film called The Chaser, which is sort of like a crime thriller type deal. Once again, when it comes to these South Korean like crime films, I feel you should know as little about these films as possible to fully appreciate them, because there's so many like awesome like twists and turns going on right here. They almost feel like a, this is gonna sound really strange, but it feels like the South Korean people have like this own version of Giallo films. I know this is a very strange like comparison, but it has like, it almost feels like it's their own type of Giallo film, like the whole structure to this and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, really entertaining film. So if you like any of those other films, especially by some of those, I think this is by no, I don't think it's the same director, but I mean, if you do like films such as Parasite and Memories of Murder and stuff like that, you probably definitely like this one as well. So yeah, The Chaser at number 4. And then number 3, we have a film which I was really surprised by. I mean, I've heard so many like bad things. I mean, I've not really heard. I mean, I've heard mixed things about this one in general, but I've heard some bad things about it mostly. But I think that's just because when this came out, it really flopped and it did horrible at the box office, and it had a pretty large budget as well. And it's the 90s film from 1995 called Waterworld with Kevin Costner and Dennis Hopper playing like the bad guy. Um, I mean, the thing that I really enjoyed about this film was the whole setting to it. It just basically takes place out like in the middle of the ocean, basically on these like rafts and whatnot, and they have to fight each other and stuff. So I mean, I know it's a very weird comparison. I know some people say that it's not like this at all, but it had almost a feeling as like Mad Max on jet skis. I know that's a weird thing to say. I mean, some people just dismiss that whole thing that, oh, that's not how it is at all. But I think it's up to like every single viewer to talk for themselves and like, oh well, this is how I experienced the film. It's not like it's not like written in stone that that's supposed to be for every single other viewer out there. Like, oh, I felt this film was like this. So I know it's a weird comparison, but that's just my personal opinion. I loved the score to this film and the soundtrack. I thought that was just absolutely beautiful and really helped the whole atmosphere to the film as well. I mean, usually the soundtrack and the score is just very, very important when it comes to some of these films in general. So the atmosphere is just really, really there with this film, and some really amazing and cool stunt work in this one as well. And I was surprised to hear that apparently Kevin Costner almost died in an accident during the making of this film because he did like a really horrific type of stunt that almost went really, really wrong. So, I mean, it's good that we got CG today, that so many people don't risk their lives for like movie productions, but at the same time, the CG is usually not as entertaining to watch than like the real thing, if that makes sense. I know I already stated this before, but yeah, Waterworld at number 3. And at number 2, we have the classic. What do they even call this? I think it's called like swash. What's it called? Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler. I think that's a weird like genre in general. I've never heard about that before I read into this film, but yeah, I decided to watch it, and it's the film called Captain Blood from 1935 with Errol Flynn. And I was just very surprised by how action-packed this film was, because usually when it comes to some of those older films, they rely way much on like characters and character development. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but I mean that's more like the center of the story, like the dynamic between the characters and like what options they have to move forward, like in the film and whatnot. In this film, I was just so amazed by the action sequences and all of the action in this one. I mean, that really took me into the film. I'm not saying that the action is the only good thing about this film. That's just my thing. I would say that really surprised me, because you don't really expect like a really full-blown, really, really action-packed film from this decade in general. So yeah, um, I don't know what else to say about the film, except for check it out if you like Aaron Flynn, if you haven't seen it before, and you feel like action films, if you want to discover something else that you've probably not seen before. So yeah, Captain Blood at number 2. Now, number 1 is a film that really surprised me. I just really, really loved this film, and apparently it's based on true events as well. And it's the film called The Honeymoon Killers from 1970, about this rather, I'm not really sure if you can say obese, or like this overweight lady who uh, really gets into trouble because she falls in love with this other like crook type of character. I mean, you at first you almost feel like this other guy is supposed to be like backstabbing her eventually, but they team up like almost like partners in crime, and do all of these like really horrible stuff throughout the entire film that you almost feel like how can they even like get away with this. And one thing that also really surprised me was, in some weird way, the director made you feel sorry for the killers themselves, and that's really frightening if you really come to think of it. Like you actually really almost root for the killers to get away with this, even though you just do horrible stuff in general. And you have to be a really good director to make something like that. It's sort of like making like a warlord in some like that really like is like the most evil person on earth, and you make him likable in some way. I mean, that's really tough to do something like that in a film. But yeah, that's what I really liked about this film, and I thought the acting was really, really amazing, especially for the two leads. I mean, some of the side characters, or like the other characters, are like um, a little bit weird from time to time when it comes to the acting. But I mean, the two leads in this film, they did an amazing job, and this is definitely a film that I'm gonna revisit in the future, for sure. So if you do like crime films and you like a gritty, like depressing, like 70s films in general, go check this one out. This is really entertaining, and it also has some really funny, hilarious things. I would say it's a really great dark comedy almost in a certain degree. I mean, it's a really horrific things that they're doing in this film, but it's just played out in the most hilarious way possible from time to time. So I thought that was really fun as well. So a really nice mix of genres right there that really worked well. So yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's it for the top 5 of the month for the month of February. Next video, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna make. Maybe yet another. I mean, I've not made a horror review video in quite a while. I think it's probably like been like 2 or 3 weeks. So I might try to make another one of those. And yeah, like usual, it's probably gonna be yet another like update video like in the near future as well. Who knows? But yeah, keep your eyes open for those videos. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this particular video. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye.